So they called for a 1-2 curveball against this guy and expected a different result than a home run into the short porch. Oy.
You are Locked On Yankees, your daily New York Yankees podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Yankees, which is part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thank you for making us your first listen every day. I'm Stacey Gotsoulias. This episode is brought to you by Monarch Money. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. With me, as usual, my co-host, Brian McKeon. Brian, it's Monday.
Stacey, rough weekend for the Yankees.
Yeah, we'll discuss that in a second. Before we get started, don't forget, subscribe to Locked On Yankees on whichever podcasting platform you prefer. Subscribe to our channel on YouTube, like our videos, hit the bell so you're notified whenever our videos go live. On today's show, we preview the series with the Royals coming up right away. It's Minors Monday. We get to tell you about what some of the kids are doing down in the minors, specifically some kids in the minors. And one team had a hell of a week with rainouts. We'll discuss that. But first, we have some news. Clarke Schmidt returning to the Yankees rotation. He'll be back on Wednesday. He's starting against the Royals. We'll preview that in segment 3. Marcus Stroman headed to the IL with left knee inflammation, not succitis, which is what I thought he was going to the IL for, but I'm assuming, maybe they're saying he has left knee inflammation. But
could be it.
Yeah. And Giancarlo Stanton is with the team in New York. He continues to hit off the high velocity. I can't read that word.
I think it's traject.
Oh, traject, like trajectory, yeah. But it's just spelled funny. Okay.
Because we have to. Yeah.
Right. So the traject machine, he's also starting to move around more outside. That means, because I got a message from an insider who was wondering what that meant, it just means that he's not stuck in the cages inside. He's also outside. That's what that means. Because it is a very strange way of saying things, but he is close to coming back.
Also, for reference, it is mid-April, so me and Stacey are also beginning to move around a little bit more outside. There is that news also.
I don't know what just happened. Oops, excuse me. I'm fixing my light just because the sun came out, but everything else got dark, which I thought was strange because all of a sudden I know people don't really want to see my face. I don't want to see my face, but it just was all of a sudden everything was dark. So I apologize for the YouTube videos to the YouTube viewers for that. All right, let's discuss Sunday first because oh God, Carlos Rodón. Did he shake off Escara at any point in that at bat against Lee? Because I don't remember if he did. Like, did he?
Not that I noticed. Like visually watching, and I haven't seen anything on social media about it either.
So they called for a 1-2 curveball against this guy and expected a different result than a home run into the short porch.
They got dominated by Lee, for sure. And it's another example of a Rodón start where he leaves the start regretting 2 pitches.
Yeah.
Other than that, if you watch the game, he looked electric the entire time. He was vintage Carlos Rodón the entire time. It was 2 pitches he wound up regretting late in the game.
Yeah.
And it just, it's funny, we do talk about this all the time, but baseball is a game of 1 or 2 little things that can screw you over. I mean, we see it in the playoffs all the time. That's exactly what happened to the Yankees. Exactly what happened to the Yankees.
It could be 2 bad pitches. It could be where you hit the ball on the bat 2 centimeters to the left or right from where you're supposed to hit it. And it's either a fly ball out to the track or a home run that changes a game.
I mean, Aaron Judge's ball in the first inning. That if his bat is a little more launch angle, the ball's gone easily. Hit the ball about a bajillion miles an hour, it turns into only a double. So it's it is one of those things. But I mean, Rodón still with it's so frustrating because he looked great the entire game. He really did. His stuff was electric the entire game. It's just those 2 pitches.
That was just that feels like such a bad call. Like, I want to find out why on earth they would decide to throw that pitch in that moment with 2 runners on and only 1 out. And you're trying to get out of this, with a 3-1 lead. Like,
I also know it's a day game after a I don't know what you call Saturday, but a mid-afternoon game, whatever you want to call it. I find the decision to start Escara after, by the way, the last start for Max Fried was also started by Escara. Mm-hmm. To have Escara catch Carlos Rodón and Max Fried one time through the order, I think is strange. Now, I know, again, a night game after a day game, or a day game after a night game, or a semi-afternoon game, whatever you want to call it. I do find that decision a little peculiar. I don't know about you, but why would you not give Wells the day off yesterday and start him with Rodón?
Yeah, I found that.
It just feels odd.
I found that kind of odd, too, when I sent out the lineup to the insiders, and I looked at it, and I thought, interesting. I'm like, didn't he play the other day?
For your two best pitchers. It's a strange decision. It really is.
Yeah, I figured I was going to see Wells there, so I was a little surprised by that. Good for the Yankees for scoring 3 runs off Webb, because he came into the game with a minuscule ERA, and it's not easy to hit off that guy. So
his stuff looked good too, actually, by the way. He had a lot of movement on that sinker. He just left it too much up in the zone, but his sinker, I don't know if you saw the stat during the game, Stacey, it runs 31 inches on average, which is absurd to move that much across the plate.
That's nearly crazy. 3 feet. That's crazy.
Yeah. I don't know how anyone hits that. It's like he's throwing a frisbee out there. It's insane. He's very hard to hit, and like we mentioned earlier in the week too, the Yankees actually have weirdly good numbers against him. They really do historically. Yeah. But he struggled in this one. That's kind of what makes the game more frustrating, though. Is the fact that
because you got to the guy that you were afraid. Well, we were afraid when we saw what his ERA was. You thought, oh boy, here we go, because Yankees traditionally, at least lately, are having issues with these guys with the good ERAs, and to see them get the 3, and to see Rodón get as far as he got, thought he was progressing there a bit, and to have it all come undone on one pitch. I do like the way they scored those runs, the Yankees, not relying, and they were doing it also in this weekend, not counting Friday, which we'll get into Friday in a few minutes, because I have to complain about the fact that they even played on Friday. It was ridiculous. People could have gotten hurt. I like that the Yankees aren't relying on the home run to score. Guys are hitting singles, guys are moving guys on the bases. Jason Dominguez, one of my friends was like, I forgot how fast Dominguez is, because he's sneaky fast. He doesn't seem
it makes no sense because of how short and stocky he is. Like he's a thick dude. Like he's not fat by any means, but he's muscular and big.
And he's like my height, right? He's only 5'9".
And he moves. He's a very, very quick guy out there. I got to tell you something too. Watching the games, it's not really showing in batting average or power numbers yet, but Jason Dominguez has been outstanding. His at-bats he looks very, very comfortable with his at-bats. I mean, let's be real. He's basically a rookie. I mean, I know he had the year where he came up and everything, but he basically is a rookie.
Right.
And I don't know if he's technically considered a rookie because of playing time. I have to look that up, but regardless, it's his first year playing full-time at the major league level, and he looks unbelievably comfortable up there. Every at-bat, he looks completely untethered. It's going to start showing a little as time goes by, but I hope the Yankees are seeing that.
Yeah, him, Ben Rice. Ben Rice is looking great.
Very good. Very good. It's going to be hard when to stand and take your time.
I have a feeling Escara is going to be the one to go.
You might be right. I do think it would be a little concerning, though, if that is the case, that they haven't played Ben Rice at catcher yet, just to get him a little more acclimated. That's a little odd, because they haven't even. I mean, there hasn't been even a time late in the game where Ben Rice has come in to play catcher.
Right. I mean, he was doing it in spring training.
Correct.
So it's not like he's going from not playing catcher from last year through spring training to this point. He was catching certain pitchers in spring training. It's just the past few weeks he has not come in, because that has been Escara's position. But I think
a notable mention, notable mention too, because this ties into the Escara conversation, the Ben Rice conversation. You can't do anything about Paul Goldschmidt. He's been unbelievable for them.
Ben Rice,
one of the best players in the team.
Yeah, that's the other problem. It's not a problem, but it is a problem. Like, it's good that he's playing well, but it's kind of a problem when you think about, because when you were thinking about Ben Rice, you're like, all right, he could be the backup catcher, backup first baseman. He can DH, he can do this. And now Goldschmidt is basically like, I'm the first baseman. You don't need to back me up. Because the past few years, you've had to back up the first baseman. And so far, they haven't had to use anyone. So.
He's been terrific. Saturday they got a nice win, beating the Giants 8-4. Avoided the weather. Bellinger was great in that game. Started off with a triple. Dominguez had the big hit late in that game too.
What a great hit
overall, yeah. And Will Warren, by the way, I said it in the short. If you saw our YouTube short yesterday before the show, or to get you ready for the week, Will Warren was terrific. He really was. And if he's gonna pitch like that, and we're not sitting here saying give them 7 innings of 2-run ball. If he's going to give them 5 innings, 2 earned, 6 Ks, if you can give you that as a 5-starter, that's exactly what they need. It can lower the ability for them to have to need to go out and get a starter at the deadline. Right. That I think is huge. That transitions me though into Friday, and we're going to do it really quickly because we are at the end here. But that Will Warren becoming a problem, and people talking about Will Warren not being a major league ready pitcher, and then needing to go get another pitcher. That conversation got shifted by Marcus Stroman not being a major league pitcher. And I'm sorry. I know the weather was bad. I get it. And should they have played on Friday? Absolutely not. They shouldn't have. I was up in Westchester County Friday night. There was no reason why they should have been playing that game. The weather was not acceptable to be playing. However, if you make your way out on the mound and you pitch, I don't want to hear excuses after the game about how the weather wasn't good. It was too drafty. It was rainy. It was this. It was that. Pitch the game. Marcus Stroman was terrible from the start. He didn't get out of the first inning. I don't want to hear how he didn't go 6 innings and give up 4 runs, but struggle in battle. He was out of the game in the first inning when it was misty outside. Stop it. Not everything is an inconvenience. It just feels like Marcus Stroman thinks the world is out to get him. And if these little ailments didn't happen, he'd throw a perfect game in every start. It is very frustrating to have a pitcher like that. And I want to bring up one stat that you all might think is a complete lie. It's not. It's a real stat. It's called Stuff Plus. Now, you might think I'm insane. This is a legitimate analytical stat that is out there right now. Stuff Plus looks at the physical characteristics of a pitch. It includes, but are not limited to, release point velocity, vertical and horizontal movement, and spin rate. It calculates all that into some weird MIT formula that's way too intricate for me to know. Marcus Stroman entered Friday's game with the 21st worst Stuff Plus in Major League Baseball this year. That's how bad his pitching has been, okay? After the game, and I know that we have highlighted this so much, but damn it, I'm going to keep bringing it up because it has to be brought up. After the game, Aaron Boone, quote, said Stroman had good stuff.
He did.
There is a legitimate stat now that explains what stuff means to us in a mathematical formula, and Aaron Boone came out telling you that Marcus Stroman had good stuff. And Stacey, I know we keep freaking out and it shouldn't surprise us, but he has the 21st worst stuff in all of baseball.
No, but you
and
can't
that's including relievers, everybody. Like, it's
you
just
can't say someone has good stuff when they're knocked out in the first inning. I'm sorry.
No, exactly.
Without being laughed at, because a reporter should have followed up and been like, "What are you? What do you mean? What of his stuff do you think looked good, Mr. Boone?"
I get that major leaguers have fragile egos. I totally understand it. And I know we need to cater to these guys and make sure their confidence is high. Marcus Stroman does not seem like a guy that ever has a problem having high confidence on himself, a lot of times when it's undeserved. But Stacey, give me a break with this. He was knocked out of the inning in the first inning, giving up 5 earned runs. I don't want to hear about how his stuff was terrific when it was literally tracked that it's one of the worst stuff in all of baseball. And like you said, conveniently after the game now, he's going for testing. There's an MRI. Now he's on the injured list. And I don't know if he's really injured or not. I don't know. It could be succitis. I don't know what it is. But the constant excuses every time there's a bad start that this ailment, this was going on, this was going on. Go out there and pitch. I mean, this is the guy that in spring training was telling you, no, I'm a starter, and I'm a Yankee starter. I'm here. I'm a number 1. All this kind of stuff. Then pitch like it, damn it. How about you, instead of talking, instead of tweeting, instead of starting fights with people on social media, how about you go out there and let your pitching do the talking, like every other player? And one last thing on the manager, before I let you get your 2 cents in, because I know I've talked a lot this segment. But can we stop with? We have been playing baseball in this country since just after the Civil War. Okay, it's been 170 years since we've been playing baseball in this country. We don't have to protect these guys' egos at every single moment. I know we are in a much more sensitive generation in the 1860s. I get it. But for years and years and years, managers were able to criticize their players without this stuff happening. Without a player all of a sudden needing a mental health month to take off because he can't pitch. If Aaron Boone came out and said Stroman needs to be better, who would have batted an eye? What would Stroman have had to say to defend himself there? I can't anymore with the constant, we need to protect these guys' egos. I get it. I'm as sensitive as it is. I'm a Cancer. I was born in July. I get it. All right. I really do. But can we take a break for a second with needing to keep them at pristine confidence at all moments when it's the first inning and he gives up 5 runs and telling us that he had good stuff in that game? I'm sorry, but give me a break.
All right. Don't forget, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button on our videos, hit the notifications so you know when our videos go up. You can also join the Locked On Yankees Insiders Club. The link is in the description. You get text from us. You can text us questions, comments, reactions to trades and signings. We send out the lineups during the season, roster moves, and any breaking news so you don't have to check social media. There's a 14-day free trial. Coming up, it's Minors Monday. We'll tell you how the kids did next.
Are you looking for a snack that's both delicious and nutritious? Well, crack into a good source of protein with Wonderful Pistachios. Now, Wonderful Pistachios is one of the highest protein nuts. Each 1-ounce serving has 6 grams of protein, giving you over 10% of your daily value. Plus, they're packed with fiber and better-for-you unsaturated fats to help keep you feeling fuller for longer. And there's a variety of great flavors, including jalapeno lime, dill pickle, chili roasted, and smoky barbecue. You can also get lightly salted or unsalted if your taste buds aren't quite ready for those bold flavors yet. Now, personally, I'm a no-shells variety kind of guy. It's the perfect grab-and-go snack for the busy days, and whether I'm snacking on my desk or at a road trip, or just need that quick protein boost, they are always my go-to. And if you love the cracking open of every shell for that satisfying crunch, the in-shell options are also a classic favorite. Whether you're running between meetings or dropping off the kids, Wonderful Pistachios are the snack that works as hard as you do. So get snacking and get cracking with the snack that packs a protein punch. Visit wonderfulpistachios.com to learn more. And thanks again for making Locked On Yankees your first listen. Remember that every Friday is Fan Mail Friday. You can leave questions underneath the pinned comment on our videos Monday through Thursday, or you can join the Locked On Yankees Insiders Club to get top priority during Fan Mail Friday. The link is in our description. Okay. So, Stacey, if the Yankees are going to be looking for trade pieces, especially starting pitchers, especially elite level starting pitchers at the trade deadline, they have a prospect that might have improved their chances of getting someone. Can you explain how well this guy played this weekend?
Oh, yes. Before we do that, though, let's talk about poor Scranton, just because.
Well, I figured because they don't play anyway, so why did we get to the...
Yeah, I know. Scranton had 3 rainouts this week. On the 8th, this past week, the 8th, the 10th, and the 12th, all postponed. They ended up playing doubleheaders on the 9th and Sunday. The game on the 12th was postponed and won't be played until May 7th, right? So they won 3 out of the 5 games that they played. As we're recording this late on Sunday, they're still playing their game on Sunday. The second games, they took the first one 3-2 because it was a doubleheader. So, that's just how Scranton's week went. So
yeah,
it was basically
they don't play very much.
Rain. Now, other teams were also impacted by rain, but not as bad as Scranton. Somerset, let's talk about Somerset. Spencer Jones on Sunday. 3 for 5 with a home run and 4 runs driven in on Sunday in a losing effort against Reading. His average is up to 290.
Yeah, so he's killing it.
Pretty impressive. They swept a doubleheader on Sunday. They lost the finale on, Saturday, lost the finale on Sunday. Reading scored 3 runs in the top of the 9th to pull ahead, and then Somerset couldn't do anything. But yeah, Tyler Hardman doubled in 3 straight games for Somerset.
Mm-hmm.
The 2 games on Saturday and 1 game on Sunday.
The performance of Spencer Jones is going to become another conversation come May or June. But him playing that well, I mean, the trade talk's only going to increase more and more, especially while their outfield looks like it could be set for the foreseeable future at the major league level.
Yeah,
especially if they extend Bellinger, and Bellinger's young. Judge is signed for long term. Dominguez is there. We're just going to keep asking: is it worth exploring? Especially if Spencer Jones is going to be a 300 hitter at the AA level. Now might be the time to make a move on him, especially with Garrett Cole being hurt. But we'll see.
Right. Moving on to Hudson Valley, Bryce Cunningham, who was the Yankees' second-round pick in 2024, was making his second professional start on Sunday afternoon. In his debut, the number 6 prospect in the organization struck out 7 batters across 5 innings. He allowed 2 runs on 5 hits. But on Sunday, it was a little bit of a different story. He gave up 6 runs, 5 earned on 7 hits in 6 innings, but only walked 1 and struck out 6 while giving up a home run. So good and bad in both performances, but mostly bad on Sunday for Bryce Cunningham. But, it's high A at that point. And, good for him that his debut was good. And this was against Brooklyn. Hudson Valley went 3-3 against them. Their next series is against the Wilmington Blue Rocks. They'll be back at home up in Hudson Valley or Wappingers Falls. That's where it is. Hudson Valley is a big area. I think where I live is considered the Hudson Valley, but people think of it more as upstate. I don't consider where I live upstate, but that's a whole other argument. Okay. Next, Tampa. We're going to focus on one guy. All of this information is from Tom Kaczynski. He has a blog. He keeps track of all the minor league teams. I got a lot of my information from him, also from the team's websites to see how guys are doing. But Tom he has his eye on everything. So if you want to follow him, just Google his name, Tom Kossensky. He's great. So we're focusing on Gage Zeal. He's the Yankees' 17th ranked prospect. He made his debut on Sunday for Tampa against the Fort Myers Mighty Muscles.
Good name. I like it.
I like it too. He went 4 1/3 innings. He gave up, he didn't give up any runs. He surrendered 3 hits, didn't walk anyone, struck out 2. Of his arsenal, he threw 50% cutters in his outing. They say that his 4-seamer topped out at 94.4, averaged 93.1.
Yeah, overall, pitched well.
Pretty good. So for a first career effort, because that was his debut, really, really good. And Gage Zeal is a very cool name.
I like Gage as a first name. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know any in real life? Because I don't. I only know them from TV.
Never met a Gage. No.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know any Bryces either. Tyler's, yes. I know a Spencer. One of my friend's son's name is Spencer, and his brother, his twin, is Nathan. So yeah, I do know a Spencer.
Yeah, I think I've only heard of it from the classic mall store, Spencer's. I never met a Spencer.
I worked at Spencer's.
Did you really? Interesting. What department?
For 2 years in high school.
What department were you in the back towards the area that teenagers left? Or
we did not have that when I was working at Spencer's.
Interesting. So they brought it in with you. Was it your idea at the corporate level?
No, it was not my idea. No, for the first year I stocked because I was only senior in high school, and worked a Black Friday, which was crazy. People got a lot of goofy gifts back then, and then
what mall did you work in, Spencer's?
The Nanuet Mall, the defunct Nanuet Mall. Now it's the shops at Nanuet. They knocked down the actual mall, but they kept the anchor stores up, and then they rebuilt everything. So yeah, everyone my age and older and a little bit younger. Yeah, I guess some of my brother's friends, we all worked at the Nanuet Mall. Like I worked at the Disney store at one point. I worked at Spencer's at one point. I worked at Lerner, which is now New York and Company. Like
you were all over the place.
All over the place, but it was very fun working at Spencer's. We didn't have the stuff that you're talking about, but a lot of interesting people did come into Spencer's when
I can imagine.
There. Yeah,
I can imagine.
Even way back in the early 90s. So that's how the kids are doing. So everyone keep your eyes on Spencer Jones in Somerset.
And keep your kids out of the back aisles of Spencer's.
Yes. There's the PSA of the day. Coming up, we're previewing the series between the Yankees and the Royals next.
You ever check your bank account and wonder, where did all my money go? Between dining out, online shopping, and entertainment, it's easy to lose track. And that's where Monarch Money comes in, your personal CFO giving you full visibility and control over all your finances. Monarch Money isn't just a budgeting app. It's a complete financial command center. And you can track all your accounts, investments, and spending all in one place, so you just stop managing your money and start building wealth. And when I started using Monarch, I realized just how much I was spending on food delivery. And now I budget smarter and I save even more. Instead of juggling around multiple apps, you can now use Monarch Money to check your finances, track your spending, and even plan for the long-term goals in life. Managing money with your partner is also smoother than ever. You can track shared and personal accounts, set goals, and stay on the same page together without all the stress. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code one word LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com, code one word LOCKEDONMLB for half off your first year. Not only do we cover your team every day, but now we're giving you instant episodes after every single game. Check out the Locked On Yankees postcast. It's hosted by Jay Berman right here on the Locked On Yankees podcast feed. You get rapid reaction to all the biggest moments with the Locked On Yankees postcast. So, Stacey, Yankees start a rematch of the ALDS from last year as the Royals come into the Bronx for a 3-game set. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday will be these games. All night games, all 7:05 starts. No weird 7:12, 7:13 weird start times. Also, all of the games except for the Wednesday game will be on the Wednesday game will be on Prime Video. So if you're struggling to find your channels, at least you have 2 days in advance to find your games on Prime Video. The first game will be Cookie Carrasco. Potentially his last start as a Yankee. We'll see, depending on the Stroman news with the if the injury is how bad the injury is. But Carrasco 1-1 with a 7.71 ERA, not ideal. He goes against the guy that was very highly regarded as one of the Cy Young contenders over the last couple of years, but particularly last year, Seth Lugo, who's currently 1-1 with a 3.24 ERA, but has really improved his stuff since he's become a Kansas City Royal. Stacey, not looking forward to this matchup very much from a Yankee perspective. Not gonna lie.
Yeah. When you look at a 7.71 ERA against a 3.24 ERA, it's kind of scary. This probably won't be Carrasco's last start because Stroman being on the IL.
Oh yeah, he is officially on the IL, so yeah, it won't be Carrasco's last start yet.
Yeah, so we'll see how this goes. The 3.24 kind of scares me too because we always talk about how the Yankees seem to have issues with guys with really good ERAs, but they also have issues with guys who have normal ERAs. A 3.24 is a very normal to good ERA in this.
Yeah, the Yankees tend to be very charitable, so they like to take guys that have the middling like 3 ERA and give them a little help and get them into the 2s. So I think that's what they're probably going to help Seth Lugo out with on Monday.
Yeah, so that's a little worrisome. Now, I'm interested in finding out, we'll find out on Tuesday, who is catching Max Fried when he takes on Michael Wacha. Is it going to be Escara? Is it going to be an every other game thing for Escara? Or are they going to put Wells there?
Yeah, we'll see. It's going to be interesting, actually, because the fact that Fried is starting in the game, it gives him a few days off, too. Boone can't hide behind he played on Sunday, so I don't know. He's going to have the off time available to be able to pay. It would make sense that Wells only had the pinch hit appearance on Sunday. It would make sense that Wells plays on Monday night. I mean, I'd fully expect him to play on Monday night and catch Carrasco. So what does he do? Because Wells can play night game after night game. That wouldn't be a problem either. I wonder what he does, especially based on the fact that Max Fried had his best start as a Yankee. Quite frankly, had one of his best career starts just in overall his career. The last time Escara caught him last week. So that's going to be a really interesting spot to see what he chooses to do. Max Fried also currently 1-0 with a 1.56 ERA. That's how good he was in that last performance. So, and going up against Michael Wacha, 0-2 with a 4.20 ERA. I find that decision very interesting, especially with Escara getting his second hit of the season. Played really well. You saw late in the game, Boone didn't pinch hit on Sunday. Wells for Escara when he had the chance late in the game. He let Escara hit and then pinch hit Wells later on. So leaving Escara in that game too, when Wells thought of as the better hitter, but liking the way Escara is swinging so far, that might be a spot where they get Fried to, if Fried wants it too, and Fried, there's a chance might actually want Escara to catch him too.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's going to be an interesting one. Yeah.
And then in the finale on Wednesday night, Chris, it might be Bubich.
I guess 2-1 with a 0.96 ERA. So the Yankees are certainly going to learn how to pronounce his name. That's for sure.
Yeah. Taking on Clarke Schmidt, making his season debut. It's the Yankee way that you get Schmidt back, you lose Stroman. Not that Stroman's pitching well, but it's just, you know what I mean? Like, of course, someone's going to the IL when Schmidt's coming back.
Agreed. I will say this though. The fact that Schmidt has played so well in the minors and pitched so well in the minors coming into this gives me a little confidence from his perspective.
Right.
Let's see what he can do. Let's give him a chance here.
Yeah. So it's his season debut. Yeah, it's Bubich. Okay. I just had to double check, but I was when I said Bubic, I was like, no, that's not right, because we've heard his name. We heard his name during the ALDS. So it's Bubic. Okay. I apologize to Chris and his parents as someone whose first name is always spelled wrong and last name is always never said in its
Correctly.
entirety until I tell people, because people will say Stacy got, I'm like, Sulius. And then they say, oh, you say it how it's spelled.
Interesting.
Wow, what a concept. But I know Greek last names are scary for people, and so are last names like Bubic. So there you go. Chris Bubic against Clarke Schmidt, Wednesday night, Prime Video. Hopefully Clarke Schmidt will, maybe last 6 innings. I doubt it. They'll probably
they're not going to go that long.
Unless he throws not too many pitches. You know what I mean? Because they probably have him on a pitch count.
I would think 75 pitches probably around.
Yeah, I think it's a pitch count, not an innings count. So however many pitches he gets, like, who knows? Maybe he gets to 75 pitches in 6 innings. You never know. So Yankees lose 2 out of 3 to the Giants. Now, the Giants are a good team.
They are.
They're doing really well in the NL West. And we warned you guys before this series that it could be not a great series for the Yankees. They should have won on Sunday. I'm just saying they should have won on Sunday. And
winnable effort. You got to their ace, and you still lost.
It's frustrating. So sorry, we're ending that on a bum note. But hey, maybe they'll be okay against the Royals. Thank you for making Locked On Yankees your first listen today. For your second listen, check out the all-new Locked On MLB Game Night. Every game, every night, all season long. Get local analysis on a national scale. Find MLB Game Night on Locked On MLB on YouTube or wherever you listen to your podcasts. So that'll do it for this edition of Locked On Yankees. I'm Stacey Gotsoulias.
And I'm Brian McKeon. We'll catch you tomorrow.